back. Let's go ahead and just flip this over. Alright guys, it is, okay, it's about 11:15, so we're getting started a little bit late. I couldn't get my 922 to work. I'm using the Brio right here that's showing the figures, but normally I have a camera right about in this area with my face on it, and then you can see me when I'm talking, and that's my 922. But it's not working right now. I restarted the computer 2 or 3 times and it still didn't come on. So I mean, I normally don't have a problem with it, but as soon as I plugged in my Brio, the 922 just wanted to stop working. Oh well, no worries. Well, we're gonna keep on trudging. Right, okay. So I used this morning as an opportunity to prime these. So I primed these this morning. So they might be still a little... No, they're ready to go. They're ready to go. These guys here are the second light KGL. I don't know if you can see that with the glare. You know, see, that's like all white. Right, that's all you can see. Unless I was to like put it in shadow or something, because yeah, it's not focused up here anyway. I've got the focus set for down here. I don't have it on autofocus because I don't like it popping in and out. So this morning I took an opportunity to prime this. I finished the Sherman Firefly, which is now up on my eBay store, and I also spent an hour or so cleaning these brushes. Okay, so these brushes are all updated. What I like to do is about once a month go through my brushes and give them a good cleaning. Usually I'll take some boiling water to get the bristles to open up, and then I'll use some brush soap to clean them off, and I'll leave a little layer of brush soap on there with the fine tip points to and let that dry, and it'll reshape the brushes into a nice point. Okay, let's move those around. So today I was planning on painting these KGL, and I considered priming them green, and then later going in and painting the pants gray on top of a green primer, which is a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take like either the pants or the jacket and I will prime whatever is the dominant color. But in this case, I decided to prime gray. I might have gone a little lighter. Yeah, I might have gone a little lighter gray sometimes. But in this case, no. Okay. So how do we want to proceed here? Okay. Okay, so every one of these figures, the flankers, the center companies, they all have gray pants and green tunics, right? So what I think I'm going to do is paint their shoes first. You know, it's weird. Sometimes I amaze myself. But yeah, we're going to paint their shoes. And I'm going to paint them dark gray. So if you're watching me paint. If you want to chat me up, you can chat. I'll turn around and look at my third monitor every now and then to see if there's any chats. Don't expect it to be, don't expect it to be on time. Okay, now I'm only going to spend a couple hours on camera today painting. That's normally what I spend. I spend about from 11 to 1 approximately. I could probably go a little bit bigger. I'm going to go with this one. Clean all that brush soap off of the brush. Nice. Okay, let's give that, I usually put a matte medium mix with my paint. Try not to put too much because I don't necessarily want it to be transparent. And then I also put a little bit of water. Not a whole lot, maybe just a drop, just to keep the paint flowing. So the matte medium and the water does make it a little bit transparent, so you got to make sure you don't use too much. That's perfect. And what I like to do is slide my miniatures over to the right a little bit. And then as I paint them, I'll put them off to the left. I don't know. It's just a way I keep track of what I'm doing. This might be off camera for you because I'm painting kind of over here. Okay, did I switch my glasses? I don't know. It doesn't feel like I did. This arm of my chair is in the way. I gotta move it out of the way. Now when I'm painting the boots or the shoes or whatever they're wearing, I'm painting under the pants, and it doesn't matter if I get it on the base, right? Because the base is the base where you the base is the place for the family. Now, how does it go? The ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. And this shouldn't take that long. Okay, these glasses. Something's up with these glasses. I don't know. Did I switch out the wrong ones? Hang on. Let's see if that helps or hurts. Whoa, that's even worse. Okay. So it's definitely not those. Okay, these should be my painting glasses. Maybe my eyes adjust a little bit this morning and it's throwing me off. Okay, so a couple of pieces of news for the store. Well, there should have been a video this weekend where you saw me taking photo. If you follow the channel, you would have seen me taking photos of a bunch of different formations and unit sizes and organizations and stuff like that. Changing formation with the limber and unlimber. And yeah, that was exciting. And I think during that day I mentioned something about making a website. Well, I've begun. I went to Wix. Um, I had a website apparently in progress at Wix that I never finished. And so what I did was I just changed the name of it, deleted the background, and just started from scratch basically. So I'm in process of making a website for, it's going to be a dual purpose website. It's going to be my painting service, right, where I explain like my price schemes and how to get a hold of me. It'll have a contact button on there as well. Hopefully the contact button will send an email to me that I can see and off that website, because I don't want to go constantly to that website every day to check my email. If I have to, I will. That's not a problem. It's just inconvenient. So like what I'll try to do is I'll try to get it to forward any contacts to my personal email and not my business email. I can pay every month if I want an actual IP, or what do they call it? Yeah, an IP address or whatever, which I'm not worried about. It can be a crazy name for the website. It's fine. It's going to be something like wargaming.wix.com/miniatures or something like that. So it's going to be kind of a ridiculous name, but that's okay. Because later down the road, if it becomes successful, or if it becomes useful or worth it, then what I'll do is I'll get my own website name, and we'll go from there. Having a website is pretty expensive on Wix. I'm gonna have to say, it's free, right? You got this free version, but if you want if you want your own website name or any of the premium services or whatever, it becomes really expensive. So it's like that free website is just there to kind of like tease you. Now I went through GoDaddy at one point, and I made a website for my airsoft store, which was called Screaming Eagle Airsoft. Because I was a Screaming Eagle, and plus I'm here at Fort Campbell. I just thought it would be a good name. But I realized that name for a website is actually very long. I need to try to figure out a way to shorten a website name So I was thinking Wargaming in miniature, but that's also very long, right? So I was thinking just Wargaming, but guess what? There's already a Wargaming website. I could call it just miniatures, but then there's probably I think that's kind of too vague. So I thought about using an initial like WIM, Wargaming in miniature, or Derek. Just use my name or something. So I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna shorten my website name, or come up with a different name that becomes shorter. I just don't like the full length of it, right? Like wargaminginminiature.com would be fine. But when you throw that Wix in there and all that, then it becomes too long. But if I get my own website, I would dump the Wix anyway. And the website is not for, it's not for like sales. It's not a retail website. It's not going to have like pages and categories of product like ScreamingEagleAirsoft.com did have. It had pages and pages of product. I had, BBs and guns and accessories, like helmets and vests and stuff, ammo cases, that kind of stuff. And I was selling all that stuff. And it was pretty successful, to be honest. But I just kind of... It wasn't success. It was, how do I... It was good, but it just wasn't good enough. And even though I love airsoft, believe it or not, I love airsoft. It became too time consuming. I had my own little squad, and we would go to national tournaments and events, and it was fun, but I don't know how to explain it. I just decided, I just faded away from it. I still have a bunch of airsoft gear. If I ever wanted to go do that personally, I could do that, but I don't have the store, obviously. Okay, but back to Wargaming Miniature. I am setting up a website primarily to let people know what kind of services I have available. So the next time someone asks me, hey, what kind of services do you offer? I can say, go to this website. But as I sell on eBay, which I do quite a bit, I do 90% of my business on eBay, I feel obligated to abide by their rules, right? They have asked me not to advertise, off-platform stores on their platform, which I totally understand that, because they invested a lot of money in that platform and I'm using it. And if I was using it to advertise my platform, I would be undermining their business. And as a businessman, I would be mad if somebody was doing that to me. So I get that. So I feel obligated not to do that to them. Okay? But on the other hand, once a customer has ordered from me and they've paid and eBay's got their cut and everything has transpired, I feel like I could include something in the box that said, you know, for future orders, check out this website, or show this website to your friends, or, you know, any of that stuff. I could also, even if they do contact me on eBay, I could still say, check out this website, but we're going to do business on eBay. You know, I'm going to take my payment and I'm going to post your miniatures on eBay. So you could just pay me on eBay and I can print a shipping label on eBay. And eBay will get their cut. But after that, it might be a different story. You know, so it's like they get their initial cut, but any future business would be direct. Or something like that. That way everybody wins. I have this one customer, good customer. He's probably my best customer. He sends me miniatures directly. You know, he doesn't ask me or post anything on eBay and say, like, you know, I'm going to send you some miniatures, how much you're going to charge me, blah, blah, blah. No, he just emails me directly. But he contacted me initially on eBay, and every time I paint some miniatures for him, I post it on eBay as a buy it now kind of thing, where you can just go in, pay for it. I will see it's been paid for. eBay basically collected the money, and then I send it out to him. And then he stopped and just started sending me stuff directly, and he started sending payments directly. That's I won't get into any of the details, but his situation has made it so that he feels uncomfortable putting it on eBay. There's a reason, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't know all the details anyway, so even if I got into it, I might be wrong. So yeah, so there's a website coming. Now, I don't expect to finish it until maybe the first of the year, 2023. I've only got the homepage like half done. But once I get it done, I'll let you guys know what it looks like, where it's at, you know, what's on it. But I plan to put a members area. Okay, and mainly that's so that I can have your address and email address, so that when I go to ship anything, I'll have your address, you know, to ship it to you. That's the main reason. And maybe put your email address on there so that you can get like newsletters or notifications or something like that. So really it's just joining a community. I don't think I'm going to have a forum or anything like that on there. There's no real need for that amongst our community. There's so many other forums out there that if you want to talk to somebody, you know, you got Twitter, you got Facebook, you got Reddit, you know, there's so many, and then there's also like wargaming forums out there specifically. But so I'm not just gonna add to the pile of forums. That's not so. This website is going to be very streamlined. You know, only like 3 or 4 pages, and that's it. One of them will be members. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but it might also be a community, so you'll see who else is on there. But some people don't want to share that information with the public. So maybe I don't want to do that. You know, because the only reason why I would do that is for people looking for other gamers in their area. You know, like what games you play, where you're located kind of deal, and then share that. But again, there are other places you can go to find gamers. I don't have to be or want to be that guy. You know, I don't want to be the go-to place to find your gamer buddy. So, but there will be a members area that's specifically for me, so it might just be hidden. It'll just be like a sign-up, contact forum or roster or something like that. There will also be a gallery. And the gallery will be miniatures that I have previously painted for either my eBay store or for customers, so that you get an idea of like what kind of quality that you can expect from me. On my home page, I think what I'll do is I'll link like my YouTube channel and my eBay store, maybe my Twitter as well. Even though I don't post very much on Twitter, that might change this coming year. That might change this coming year. Okay, now there's a bunch of things that need to be this color, but it'll have to wait. I'm not going to continue with this color until I get some of these other colors already done. So that the rest of that paint might be a waste. Might be a bust. Okay, looking at the chat. Oh, there's chats. Okay, what do we got? I can't read 20 miles away with those magnifying glasses. Okay, we got Justin. He says, so what brand name are these miniatures, and AK paints versus Warhammer paints? AK, definitely. These are Perry models. Perry Miniatures is the brand that we're doing. This is like 4 packs of Perry light KGL. Perry models are probably one of my favorite brands. And when it comes to Warhammer paints, I have some Warhammer paints. I still do. I painted with and I'm going to show my age right now. In the 90s, 95 to about 2002 or so, I painted almost exclusively with Warhammer and P3, right? Do you recognize Citadel Color hex-based pop tops? And then the P3s. Wow. That was what I was primarily painting with. When it came to military colors, I almost always went with a Tamiya or a Poly S. But as I've progressed into a more professional painting, okay, I probably shouldn't even do this brush. I should probably just do a slappy brush. Let me find a slappy brush. Horrible. Slappy. Slappy sloppy. Okay. Folk art. Matte. Chasseur green. Or hunter green. Chasseur is hunter in French. Now, folk art is a really good color as well, a brand. There are a lot of hobby paints out there. Apple Barrel, ceramic art or whatever. There's some Apple Barrel right there. There are a bunch of other brands. None of them are as good as the basic folk art. Folk art has a really nice thick pigment, but you don't get all your colors out of folk art. They have some traditional colors, and then they've got some like crazy, wild, stupid colors. Okay, I am going to mix some Liquitex. It will thin it just a tad, and then of course a couple of drops of water. I don't know. This might be too funky. I need a funky brush that's not as bad. Yeah, like that second one. I use these brushes primarily for applying washes, believe it or not. Sometimes dry brushing, but not usually. Okay. But I found that this hunter green matches perfectly with the colors that I need for my Napoleonics. Okay, we slide. That's why I got the big bottle. And now we're painting just jackets. And it doesn't matter if, and the reason why I am large brushing it is because it doesn't matter if I get it on their flesh, their weapons, or the backpack, because I'm going to go in and paint all of those items later anyway. Okay. And I do believe the turnbacks, or the collars and the cuffs, are colored. Okay, I'm going to check. Uniform, where are my uniforms at? There you are. KGL, Light Infantry, 2nd Light Battalion, uniforms. Okay, so they have black cuffs and collars. Okay, cool. That's what I'm painting right there. All right, Justin. Yeah. I mean, if they don't go bad, don't throw them away. That's what I'm saying. And he's been collecting since '89. Okay, so this is the unit that I'm currently painting. That's the center companies and the flanker companies. You don't really see much difference in the center and the flanker. And they don't have very much of a tail on their habit, or their tunic. Word. Boobity doop. There we go. Let's go back to my painting glasses and let's get to cranking these bad boys out. Okay. Okay, so I don't need to worry about their collars and cuffs because they're going to be painted as well. So I can just focus on the habit. Or the tunic, whatever you want to call it. The jacket. And the Perry brothers, the guys that do the miniatures for Perry, those guys do some really good work. I mean, really good work. Okay, I have a feeling I might have thinned this out too thin. I'm seeing a little as it's drying, the gray is shining through. That's one reason why I wanted to do a lighter gray when I was going to prime it. I considered a lighter gray so that if it did shine through, it would kind of just look like highlighting. Be like a almost like those contrast paints. Which, if you buy contrast paints, you're wasting your money. Because all a contrast paint is paint with a medium included. You get a bottle of medium like this that will last you a year of making your own contrast paints. That's like less than $10 and lasts. That's like in the last 2 years, that's only my second bottle, so. Actually, maybe 3, maybe more than that, maybe 4 years. Yeah, but either way, if you went through a bottle a year of that, that only costs the same as buying 3 contrast paint bottles. Because contrast paints are like $3 a piece. And there's a limited line of contrast paints. So you could take any color you own and turn it into a contrast paint. If you're into that kind of painting, which I'm not. I don't mind thinning my paint and then having like a white undercoat shine through and give me that highlight, like a natural highlight. I don't mind that. That's cool. But I feel that going in and actually physically highlighting it afterwards manually actually has a better look, in my opinion. Okay, these figures, for those of you that are curious, they are going up on the store. I'm not painting these for a commission. I'm not painting these for myself. These are actually, I'm painting them for the store. So you'll see them in 2 or 3 days. They'll be up on the eBay store. Because I think I'll have these done by then. We'll see. I might have to do a second coat on these. Okay. So knowing that, I'm not going to keep stalling on one group of figures. I'm just going to rock and roll, knowing I'm going to do a second coat. Basically, I'm just going to fly through them. Now, I don't remember what packs they have on the Perry site for the KGL lights. But I feel like I got all 4 of them. Because it's almost like all these figures, because you get 6 figures in a pack, and there's a lot of variety in the models that I'm painting right now. Part 2 to what I was about to say about the website. It's really not the website. This is just the store in general. My pricing scheme or schedule is going to change the first of the year. So with the release of the website, a new price schedule is going to emerge. And it's going to be more well defined. It's not going to be vague. Because my price scheme right now is pretty vague. I did just finish a Sherman Firefly this morning. I started it last night by priming it. And then this morning I just went ahead and finished it. And decals and everything. I kind of used the suggested paint colors that Plastic Soldier Company recommended. They say that normally U.S. Shermans would be brown violet, which us Americans would call olive drab. But the British would have painted them Russian uniform green. And this is basing it on Vallejo, right? Because I use a lot of Vallejo paint. I have more Vallejo paints nowadays than I have any other brand. Oh wow, I thought this little, I don't think I'm going to have enough paint to go around. I'll have to mix a little bit more into this. Especially with a second coat. Yeah, so I'll better define the shipping, the return policies, all that kind of stuff. Oh, I also want to give you a little story, a little anecdote, a little tale of woe from my eBay store. It's I don't know how to deal with this situation. Okay, my son's talking to somebody on the phone, so he might be talking to his work. Or something. We should have a new dryer coming at some point. I think he said Lowe's. I don't know when that's going to be delivered. But I'm going to bring my voice volume down just a little bit so I don't, get heard on the phone with whoever he's talking to. But I have a customer. Or I'm gonna say I had a customer, because depending on the situation, I think I'm gonna block them. They ordered a product off of the store. eBay had verified their address as being a legitimate address. That's one of the reasons why I do my shipping labels through eBay, is because they do a lot of the verification for me. They verified it was he had an account with them, of course, have to, and they verified his address. So I ship off this product like the day after he paid for it, which is, of course, what I promise on my store. I say 1 day processing. Okay, so he pays on the 23rd, and on the 24th, it ships out to the address on his account. He says, I didn't get it. And I'm looking at the tracking number, and it says it's en route. I'm like, okay, so I tell him, hey, that's not me. That's the post office. It might be coming a little slow or whatever. It says that it's en route, and here's the tracking number, and this is what you can find and everything. So let's give it a few more days to see if it shows up. And then like a week later, he says, apparently it was delivered to the wrong address, and they shipped it back. Right? And I'm thinking, okay. When I get it back, I'll just issue a refund, because I've got like a 30-day return policy. So if you want to return it, or if you accidentally returned it, or if the wrong address returned it, then yeah, so I'll just give you a refund. No problem. Totally okay with that. And then like a month later, he writes me and he says, have you gotten it yet? And I'm like, no, because I hadn't. I had put it out of my memory. I mean, I hadn't gotten any boxes with that product back. So I was like, let me check the tracking. I checked the tracking, and it says it was delivered to a business address. Right? And I'm like, oh, okay. So that must have been the guys that shipped it back. I said, no, it's not back. It shows delivered, but if you want, I can wait a little bit. And he's like, yeah, they shipped it back, so-and-so, whenever. And I'm like, okay. So then, like a month after that, he writes me and he says, have you got it back yet? I'm like, no, because I hadn't. And I checked the tracking, and then I look at his account on eBay, that is. It's the same address. His account has the business address as the account address. So if it was the wrong address, and if he was having a shipping issue with that address, I would think that you would change it and not leave it after 3 months, or 2 months actually. Yeah, 2 months. So maybe it was last night, maybe it was the night before, eBay notifies me and said, this customer has filed a claim saying that he never received the product. Which is true. Well, might be true. I think this is what's going through my mind. A couple of things could be true. One of them is it was delivered to the address that he has on his account, which is a business address, and he has just not changed it to the address that he prefers to receive shipments at after 2 months. To me, that's unlikely. The second thing that could be true is that he received it at the address that he has on his account, and he actually received it, did not send it back, and is claiming that this company has sent it back on his behalf, and he wants to get it for free. But I don't think the second one to be, I think it's probably something in between. You know, he's probably just not smart. Or maybe he's trying to get over on me. It's only like a $30 item. But $30 is still $30. And the address you had me ship it to, and the address that it was delivered at, is the address that you have on your account. And you should have fixed it if it was broke. Now, morally, ethically, I'm struggling in my head. I don't want to give him his money back. But I also do want to give him his money back. I don't want him to get over on me. But I also don't want to... I can't read his mind. I don't know that he's lying to me. And as everyone knows, sometimes things get lost in the mail. Tell me how you would deal with it. You know, or don't. But if you do, it'd be appreciated. I'll read it. I'll read the comment. If you don't want to get involved, that's fine. You know, you're not my legal counsel, so don't worry about any of that. But I do have a 30-day return policy. But I have a feeling that eBay, even if I present them with the tracking number and the story that was provided to me and the evidence of his account address being the same address that it was delivered to, and that it's a business account or business address. I know it's a business address because I looked up the address. It looks like it's a coffee shop. Which he might own or work at. And it's possible that one of his employees got it and kept it, and he just thinks that and might have told the boss, oh yeah, I put that in the mail and returned it to sender, when in fact he took it home with him and kept it. Who knows? Maybe that happened. But don't get stuff sent to a business that, you know, if you have issues like that. And even after the issue was uncovered, he still left his address as the business. That's the part that sticks in my craw. It's not that a mistake was made, because hey, mistakes happen. And I don't hand write the shipping labels. On eBay, I just click ship and it auto fills the address from what's on the account. So but I have a feeling that eBay is going to side on his side because, you know, he filed a claim, and, you know, they're going to say, well, he's not going to file a claim if he's not actually suffering, which I kind of believe too. I kind of believe, like, he wouldn't file a claim unless he was really wanting his, you know. And if it's an honest mistake, I should refund him. Yeah, it's... But if I wind up refunding him, I'm going to put his name on my do not sell to list, which I have. I actually have a list of people that are just obnoxious, and I don't want to do any business with them. So I cancel them. On my store, that is. And I'm not talking about the people that want their Napoleonic figures painted pink. I just think that's crazy, but that's not cancelable. It's the people like the Naked Fanatics and the... That's not this guy. This guy is actually World War II models. But yeah, I could just leave it up to eBay and answer their questions on the case and just see what they do. And if they refund him, that's fine, because I was probably going to refund him anyway. But if they don't refund him because of his account indiscrepancies or whatever, then that's fine too, because I really don't want to refund this guy. A bunch of red flags went up when he ordered that product in the first place, and I just knew when I shipped it out to him that something was going to happen. You ever get those feelings that you're like, oh, well, I just know something's going to happen with this guy? Yep, I'm going to have to mix some more green because my first coat there's enough for one coat, which I had a really good guess on how much I needed, but it looks like I might have thinned it out just a little bit too much, and it's going to require a second coat. Okay, so my second coat, I'm probably not going to thin it out as much. Plus, it's the second coat, so it's going to go on, and it's actually better in the long run. It's better to have thinner coats and multiple coats because I just don't normally paint this way. But if I was trying to do like a Golden Demon awarded model, I would probably paint like 4 or 5 coats. And the reason, or I should say the technique, is thinning it down, usually water, but yeah, thinning it down quite a bit. Almost like I was blending, because it winds up preserving any of the fine details of the model, because you don't have clumps of paint clogging up the details. That's one reason why I normally thin my paints down anyway, for a good flow. Mainly just so they don't clump up and get involved in all the different details. And then you just layer it on, layer it up and up and up until you get to where you need it to be. Okay. As a primary coat, I think we've got the primary coat on everything. There's a little indiscrepancies, but the second coat will resolve that, I think. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, and that actually looks way too dark as well, which is okay, because when I go in and do my highlights, I plan to highlight with this bad boy right here, and it's going to make it pop. Okay, do you think the future of wargaming is fading out due to technology? That's a really good question. I have thought of that. I'm drinking some lemon tea here. I have thought of that in the past. I've been thinking about that for the last 30 years. That should tell you my answer. Computers have been around a long time. You know? And there are people today with computers and cell phones and the internet and all that. It's pretty much in everyone's life, right? I mean, it is. It's in everyone's life. But there's people that still get face to face and play Dungeons and Dragons. Why do you think that is? I mean, there's all these apps and stuff that you can play online. Why do you think people get face to face to play Monopoly? Because wargaming is not about animation. It's not about the explosions, you know. It's about rolling physical dice in your hand on a table, having, because you have multiple senses, right? You've got sight, sound, vision, touch, smell, all that stuff, right? Okay. Computers only touch a couple of those senses. And I say computers because I assume that's what you're talking about, computer gaming and stuff. Computers have sight and sound. And that's it. Sight and sound. Where a miniature game, you've got the smell, because sometimes your opponents, you know, you've been there, they don't smell right. But you also have like cookies and coffee and soda and all that. So you have taste, which you only get from exploring some, like your buddy's house, his basement, his garage, his game room, or whatever. But you also get that sight and sound that you get from computers. But you don't get touch from the computer. And that's the big one right there. You feel the miniatures in your hands. You feel the weight, the texture. Even though it's, you know, smooth or the weight is microscopic, you still feel it. You still have to grab something. You know? Plus, on a computer game, you have no emotional investment in your army. You have no time invested other than like picking. You know, when you have to sit and paint an army, or when you have to physically purchase an army and not just look at it on a computer screen, you have a little bit of an investment, not just emotionally, not just physically, but I don't know, financially. So you have a bigger investment in a miniature game than you do a computer game. And what that does, it triggers different portions of your brain that gives you different types of enjoyment. So there are people out there that have played... Okay, have you ever played Monopoly on the computer? Was it as fun, in your own opinion, was it as fun as playing Monopoly with your friends around a table where you can shoot the shit? You can talk about the game, or I'm talking about the big game, you know. You can talk about life. You can talk about girls, you know. you can't really do that with a computer game. Now, I understand there's incels. You know, there's people that never leave their house. They have no friends. Or maybe they live in Alaska. You know, they live somewhere where they have no access to friends. And that's a shame. But I would understand why they would gravitate towards an online computer game, because it's all they got. You know, they can't. It's what they got to do. So I don't blame them. So the question was, do I think it's phasing out? And my answer is no. I'm not saying it's getting any better. I'm not saying it's getting, it's growing faster than maybe it did 30 years ago. But I don't see it disappearing anytime soon. Now, if you think of it like this, how much love of wargaming do you have? Do you have a lot of love for just wargaming in general? If you do, are you the kind of person that can play a computer game and play a board game and play a miniatures game? Or can you only do one or the other? I personally can only play a game if it's VR. No. I can do all of it. Every different type of game can be enjoyable in its own right, or its own, in its own genre or whatever. And I think most people are that way. I think most people can watch a movie and read a book. Now, there are some people that will say, oh man, you got, movies rot your brain, only read books. And then there's other people that say, the book reading takes too much time, so I just watch a movie. Well, those aren't the people that I talk to. They're not open-minded enough to do both. Now, I'm not saying I've read a book in a long time, but I do. I read rule books. I know that doesn't really count, but I do read. I read D&D books, modules, adventures, rule books. Oh wow, weather must have changed outside because it sounds like it's about to rain. So if the internet cuts off, that's where I went. Power went out or something. So yeah, so basically the answer to that question is I have thought about it. It's actually, and the reason why I really thought about it recently is because of the pandemic. You know, pandemic is over. It's pretty much over. You know, the world is starting to open up, except maybe not in China, but the world is starting to open up. People are getting back to their way of life. And if you have never been to my channel before, I just want to let you know I am a conservative. I would not say that I'm right-wing, because that is probably a little bit too far to the right. But I will say that I'm right of center. You know, I'm not a leftist. I'm not woke. I don't believe in identity politics or ideologies. I don't believe in gender politics or identities. I believe that there are two sexes. There's a man and a woman. But I also identify as, or understand that there are exceptions to the rule. I understand that. There's exceptions to the rule to everything. So if somebody says that they are trans, I'll take them for their word. Okay, maybe you're trans. Big deal. I don't care. And it doesn't, I mean, I say I don't care in that that's not going to affect how I interact with you. You're a person, I'm a person, that's the end. But if you get online or in my face and say, you have to call me X or you have to call me Y, I will not. I will not call you those things. Only because you didn't ask me. You told me. I don't know, I'm weird. I'm a weird person. Yeah, and I'm fairly huge into politics, just so you all know. I pay attention to what's going on. Let's just say that. I pay attention and I form my own opinion. I don't let other people tell me what my opinion is. Yeah, these guys are actually coming out with the second coat. The green is coming out really good. I'm like, wow. Better than I expected, actually. I will do a photo shoot of these models when I am completely finished with them. And I'll let you see them on the channel. It's not part of my Napoleonic project. If you guys are following my channel, you know that I am currently writing a set of rules called Marshals Generals. It's a core level, which basically means you, the player, play as a corps commander. A core level Napoleonic set of rules. Can you play as something larger? Yes. Can you play as something smaller? Yes. But the rules are aimed at a core level maneuver and basically the rules are aimed at that. Just so you know. That set of rules, I considered naming the website after Marshals and Generals. That way, when or if I ever decide to publish the set of rules, which that's not my goal. My goal is to write myself a set of rules for me and my friends. But if I wind up publishing it, I'll have a website already set up for it. But I'm thinking that Wargaming in Miniature can still have a page dedicated to Marshals and Generals. And so you will see when the website is released, there will be a page dedicated to Marshals and Generals. Now, I thought about putting it like a Google Doc on the Marshals and Generals page, like a link to a Google Doc, where you could follow along. You know, you could visit the Google Doc and you could see what my progress is with the rules. And anytime that I make a change, it would update in real time, and then you would get to see what my changes are. But I decided against that because I don't want people in my business. Okay, I don't mind it. Let me rephrase that. I don't mind that. I'm just afraid of doing something wrong. That's really correct. I'm afraid of messing it up or something. So, and I don't want you to have access to it like that if I decide to market it. If I decide that I'm not going to market it, then I'll probably just put it on the website for a free download. Anybody can just download it and own it. Or I might sell it on the website if people like it and they want a copy of it. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm not done writing it anyway, and I haven't play tested it. I haven't thought that far in the future. I'm reserving the right to sell it. Hey, so when is that dryer supposed to show up?
It was supposed to arrive at the end of the month. I'll have to check the date again. It said the 30th.
The 30th or so?
30th or the 1st of December.
Oh, okay. Are they going to install it?
No.
Okay.
They'll just drop it off.
Okay. Do they want the old one?
Oh no, I just ordered a new one.
Okay. Because I was going to say, is there like a trade-in or something?
Oh no, they don't offer trade-ins.
Okay.
And it costs like $100 extra for them to remove the old one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know what we're going to do with the old washer. It still works, it just doesn't work great. And I think I thought I heard the mailman go by earlier. I'll go check it. Okay, so the green is done. Okay, that's the last of the yucky brush. We're going to go with some detail brushes now because we're going to be working on details. Is it raining?
Sounds like it is a little bit.
Yeah. I'm hearing the rain. What do we got? Do you think the future of... Okay, we already got answered that. Oh, wait, what's going on here? How... Insert... Now would be a good time. Okay, I don't know why it says an hour and a half of 2.5 hours when this is live. Okay, so maybe they just assign a number to it. Okay, everything's black straps. Black packback, black straps, black ammo case, black Shako. I think we're gonna do flesh. And if you're listening, if an ad just popped up just now, if you would, tell me what it was, because I don't see the ad. YouTube said, now would be a good time to put an ad. And I clicked it. And I'm curious to know what ad popped up. Okay. Now here's a little trick about painting flesh. I paint it before I do the collars. So if the flesh paint creeps down a little bit too low and gets on the collar, it's no big deal because I haven't painted those yet. And if it creeps up into the Shako, that's fine too because I haven't painted the Shako yet. So basically I just slap it on and just try to keep it between the collar and the Shako, but not to the point of caring. And the hands, since I haven't painted the muskets yet, I can paint over the hands onto the musket. And because of the cuffs being a different color, and even if they weren't, I could always go back and paint them a different color, but since the cuffs are going to be a different color, I can paint over the musket and over the collars. So basically, when I paint flesh, I don't pay too much attention to where I'm painting. If that makes sense. Just making sure I get it on the thumbs and the fingers. And the face. Okay, it looks like the flesh is going to have to be second coated as well. But that's okay. Now I was thinking about painting the Prussians. Okay, that's last night I said to myself, I'm going to paint some Prussians today on camera. And I got all the Prussians that I've got, not all of them, but I got a bunch of Prussians ready to go. I was going to paint 5 battalions all at once for the store. Because again, I'm not, my personal Napoleonic collection right now is 15 millimeter. A year ago, it would have been 25 millimeter or 28, which is why I actually have these miniatures, because I got them originally from my own personal collection, but then I decided to switch scales to 15s. Unfortunately, Perry doesn't make any 15s. I really wish they did, because I really love Perry models. But one of my favorite brands, Old Glory, they make 15s as well. But back to the Prussians. I have some Old Glory Prussians in 25, 28 millimeter. And I have some Wargames Atlantic Prussians. And I had some front rank Prussians, right? And with all those combined, I could make 5 battalions. So I was starting to get them all ready, and I probably wouldn't have. We would have started working on them today, but it would have taken a lot longer, because there would have been 120 of them, something like that. And so I decided to go ahead and do that. And then I said, okay, so what battalions am I going to do? I'm going to do reserve battalions, because the majority of those figures were reserve figures. And I said, okay, so let's do some reserve battalions. Which reserve battalions? I didn't know. So I went through and I looked up the reserve battalions, and I found some good ones, like the 13th, the 14th, the 5th, no, not the 15th, the 13th, the 14th, the 18th, I think, the 21st and 22nd, something like that. Those are the 5, right? I could be wrong. There might be a battalion off or something. But, so I said, okay, those are the battalions I'm going to do. And then I decided, okay, let's go ahead and order the flags. Because I said to myself, by the time I finish painting them, they'll be ready for their flags. And so I ordered 6 flags. So I ordered one too many. But that's okay. That's fine. That means I'll just have an extra Prussian flag laying around. When I say flag, I mean flag set. Because the Prussian flags come with 2 flags. Right? Alright. So I ordered them. And then I thought to myself, well, you know what? It's going to be like 3 weeks before I get those. You know, I order flags of war. And so I ordered them. They're on their way. And then last night, this morning, early this morning, I said to myself, I would have those painted way before those flags showed up. I would knock them out. They would be painted. It would take me probably a week. Not 3 weeks. And I said, and then what? Then they're going to sit on the shelf waiting for the flags to show up before I can finish them, because I'm going to sell them. They're all going on the store. I said, I can't wait. I want to be able to paint something, finish it, and then put it on the store. And I said, well, what do I have that I can do that with? That's where these KGL lights came from. I said, oh yeah, I've got these KGL lights in my shelf. Let me go grab them and paint them up. And then I can just put them on the store for sale. So that's why I'm not painting Prussians. They're washed. They're the plastic ones, which is the Wargames Atlantic. They are like the bodies are cut out of the sprue, but their heads are not. Their heads are still on the sprue. And so they're ready to go, but I mean, what am I trying to say? They're ready to continue. So I've got them just sitting in a box. So as soon as I get those flags in, then I'll jump in and start painting those. I don't foresee finishing these on camera today with you guys. Would love it if I could, but I'm just not that fast of a painter. But I'm thinking, if you guys are willing, to have another show tomorrow, and I'm going to continue painting these. If you're up for it, just let me know and I'll do it. If not, I'll just paint them on my own off camera. Yeah, just drop me a chat if you want me to go live tomorrow, because I can do that. I've got a D&D game tonight, but I don't have anything scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. I might be a little tired, so maybe I'll start. If I do start tomorrow, it might be around noon instead of 11. And I could probably go for more than just a couple hours, because I don't have anything scheduled for tomorrow evening. So if you want, I can continue tomorrow at noon and go much later. We might actually get deeper into this process. Just let me know if you want that. I still might do it anyway, even if you don't say anything, but I don't know. Because I want to get these guys done and put up on the store. Let's talk about prices. Okay, I was thinking about this when I was laying in bed last night before I fell asleep. Because I've been working on my pricing scheme. How much no, this is rhetorical, so don't actually answer this. But how much do you get paid at work per hour of work that you do? You know? Let's use a low number, right? Let's say like for skilled labor, $15. Let's just say $15 an hour. Okay? And then let's talk about materials. Okay, let's talk about materials for a Napoleonic unit. And I thought about this. Perry models are about $1.50 per model. Wargames Atlantic is about 50 cents per model. Warlord is about $1 per model. So it does matter on what, oh yeah, and front rank is also about $1.50 a model. So somewhere between $1 and $1.50 per model. But then you got that 50-cent option in there for some of the plastic models. So let's just lowball it and say 50 cents a model. Okay, we're going to lowball it. That's really low. I mean, I probably should lowball it and say $1 a model. Oh, wait, what's going on with that? That looks like spam. Somebody trying to buy my house that I'm not trying to sell. Okay, so imagine painting one battalion, like I'm doing right here. Okay, and then let's look at the flags. The flag is about $5 for a pair of flags. Some units only take one flag, some units take two. Now I'm basing this all on 28 millimeter, okay? Okay, so then there's flock and bases. Okay, so Napoleonic figures, which is what I'm basing this whole conversation on, I base 4 figures on a 40 millimeter base. And a battalion is about 6 bases, 24 figures. So that base, I buy about $0.50 a base, maybe lower, maybe 25 cents a base. Let's just call it 25 cents a base. I'm lowballing here. because I'll actually do a price analysis at some future point before the first of the year. But right now I'm just shooting the sheet with you guys. Okay, so then there's flock that goes on the base. There's glue is used to glue the figures to the base and the flock to the base. I know I'm being petty, but if I do 100 units, that winds up being a lot of glue. Right? So I need to nickel and dime it. And I'm lowballing anyway. So let's just say $1 for all the flock and all the glue for 1 unit. That seems reasonable. Okay. So let's start adding. 24 figures at $1 a piece. Easy math. $24. 6 bases. $0.25 a base. It's $1.50, right? So what are we at? $25.50. All right, $25.50 so far. Glue and flock, another $1. $26.50. Now I'm not even going to count the cost of the actual paint. But let's just say it's $1 for the unit. What are we at? $27.50 now? Okay. The flag. If it is a 1 flag unit, it's another $2.50. So we'll call it $30. I think you guys are following along. I'm trying to follow along my own thoughts. Okay, so that's $30 for a 1 flag unit, 24 figures, based and flocked and painted. Now the time. Okay. How many hours does it take me to paint a 24 figure unit? I'm going to say 12 hours. No, I'm not. I'm going to say 16 hours. I'm going to say 2 days. 2 days of nonstop work, 16 hours. Okay, remember we stopped at $30. So what is 16 times 15? I'm going to use a calculator. $15 times 16 hours. $240. Plus the $30 for all the equipment and miniatures and paint and flock and glue and basing and all that stuff. Winds up being, if I'm accurate, in it only taking me 2 days to paint, That would be $270 for one Napoleonic unit. That's if I charge $15 an hour, which I don't. But I think I should, but I don't. Okay, let's say I charge minimum wage, or somewhere near minimum wage, which I thought $15 was the new minimum. But let's just say minimum is the old minimum, which was like $8. What's 8 times 16? 8 times 16. That's $128. So if I charge $8 an hour, for 2 days, it's $128 plus the materials and everything, $158. Okay. I think that is $150 at least is what I think a unit is worth. Now, if I don't provide the miniatures, like a customer sending me the miniatures, I don't have to pay that $12. Because I said, okay, maybe $24. I don't have to pay $24. So it'd be about $120, $132, something like that. Yeah, $132. So you save money by not having to buy the miniatures themselves. But now, if I take that, let's just call it $150, just because I want to keep my math pretty straight. If it's $150 or ish, right? And I'm painting 24 models, I'm only charging a total of about $6 a model. And I'm going to let you know, that's what I charge for commission right now, is $6 a model. I think that's too low. And on eBay, which is where I sell pre-painted models, I'm selling them right now. If you went to look right now, you would see some Napoleonic figures on there for $100, which is like $4 a model. Just know, January 1st, that's all changing. So get it while the getting is good. So on the website, it's going to say, you know, cost plus, you know, the painting cost is this, the basing cost is this, the miniature cost is based on the miniature you want painted. So if you provide the miniature, there's no additional charge. But if I provide the miniature, then I'm going to charge you retail for that miniature. Now I can get away with the $4 right now because of wholesale. I'm able to get some miniatures at wholesale, like Warlord and Wargames Atlantic and Plastic Soldier Company. But when it comes to Front Rank or Warlord, no, Front Rank or Perry, I cannot. Or Victrix even. I have an account with Victrix. This is just an aside. I have an account with Victrix, but their minimum order is just astronomically high that I can't order from them. I can order like retail, like you and I, but Wargaming and Miniature can't really order from them because they have a crazy high minimum. And it's not just a minimum for free shipping, which I could do. I could say, okay, well, I'll just absorb the shipping. No, this is a minimum order, period. It has to be this much, which is like $1,000. To me, that's crazy high for my business. You know, for a store that sells thousands of dollars of Victrix every month, that's a drop in the bucket. But I don't do that. I'm a commission paint thing, so how many Victrix models do I need? I don't need that many. So I haven't reordered Victrix in almost a year, maybe a little over a year, because of the high minimum order. Just so you know. So if you wanted a Victrix unit painted, the cost would be based on retail Victrix. Or you could provide the miniature and I'll paint it. I know all these live streams tend to have me start getting all bent out of shape about Victrix. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. I love their models. They got great models. And they got some new ones, too, that I don't have and haven't seen. But I just can't order a minimum. It's just... And I'm not ordering retail because I lose money when I order retail and then sell, you know, painted models, or even try to sell their models new on my site. If I sell it at cost, then I'm not making any money. Why'd I bother? Why did I order them? Why did I get them? Why did the customer get them from me when they could have went direct? Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to do a second coat. So I'm going to do that. All right. And it's going to go a little faster. Because second coats always go faster. Okay. Because I'm only hitting the highlighted areas. And I think Wix, where I'm going through my website, I think they got a... that's a weird analytical thing on my site. Something just went crazy. But okay. They've got this thing on their site where I can take payments on, from PayPal or whatever, on their website, which that'll be convenient for customers, because a lot of customers have credit cards, and I have to be able to accept a credit card, so I can use the PayPal as a payment tool. I actually prefer online payments over like sending me a money order or a check. I actually don't like that. But if that's the only way you can do it, like if you don't have a credit card, or if you don't have a credit card, or if you are afraid to use it, you know who I'm talking to, then yeah, I'll definitely accept a cashier's check / money order. Would prefer a cashier's check, but hey. Some people just go to the post office, get a money order, and ship it. That's fine. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So I actually, once I got those Prussians like in my head, that I wasn't going to be able to finish them, I was like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to finish these because I don't have the flags. I consider just painting them without flags, and then just letting whoever buys them attach whatever flag they want, But I actually, before I settled on painting these guys, I said, I can I could paint some more of my Napoleonic figures, my personal collection, or I could rebase some of the Allied guys that are still on the wrong bases, or thought about painting up some French cav, like the cuirassier or the guard lancers, Polish lancers, or the Dutch lancers. I considered painting all those guys up. Or doing the limbers for all the Allied guns. I've already got all the limbers for the British guns, but not the Allies. Yeah, I've got all those ready to go. And then I said, I could paint some American War of Independence. Just to branch out a little bit. I also have a bunch of 28s, 25 28s in American War of Independence as well. And I have a bunch of flags already for American War of Independence and 28s. Because I was thinking about doing a black powder American War of Independence. But once I decided to switch to 15s, I decided to switch everything to 15s. So, and unfortunately I don't have my second camera, so I can't show you everything else. And I know I'm painting like half off screen, so you don't see me actually doing a lot of painting. I apologize for that too. But my table is not, or I should say my camera and my table, it's not set up in the best way. Because if I move the camera where you could actually see me doing this painting, it would be in the way. And then I wouldn't be able to paint. I'd be working around a yep, the officers have gloves. Yeah, so I'd be working around a tripod or something. Now, I thought about a camera on a flex mount. I don't know if that would work. You know, like one of those Gorilla Grip flex mounts or something. Get one of those and mount it to the table and have the camera like above the miniatures looking down. I thought about that, but I don't want to invest in something like that. Now, my wife showed me one of her friends has a painting table and how he set up the lights. And it's pretty cool. I don't think I want to do what he did. It was a pretty cool idea, though. And I did think about it for a hot second. He's got some, what do they call those things? Strip lights? You know, lights that are on a like a rubber strip or a plastic strip, and he had it attached each end of the plastic strip to each end of his table, so the plastic kind of arced over the table with the light pointing down at his paint jobs and his miniatures, so he'd have a direct above light. My light is coming at an angle from like this direction, like behind my camera. So that's why sometimes you'll see my camera's shadow in the picture. And that's why, because the light is behind the camera. Also, you might notice I flipped my cutting board over from 10 millimeters to 1 inch. Because I was debating whether or not I was going to take pictures of my Napoleonic figures on this to show off in my rule book. And then I decided that just taking it on the terrain map would be the best way to go. Yeah, see how fast it was to do the highlighting of the flesh? Much faster. Because really, I'm only hitting the big areas now. That's what she said. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, drop them in. I see that there is a question. Okay, good. Let me finish painting this flesh here, and then I will lean over there and read your comment and reply if it deserves a reply. We do have something called super chatting. So if you were wanting to help support the channel, you're welcome to super chat. If you don't, then you don't. No big deal. I'm still going to answer your chat, even if it's a a free chat. If it ever got to the point where there was hundreds of chats popping up, I would, at that point, make super chatting the only ones I could reply to because of just time, availability, visibility. I wouldn't be able to read every chat, one of those kind of things. But we're such a small channel right now. I think I can read every chat. Well, I say that, but yeah, I think I am. Okay, so the flesh is done. Let's go ahead. Well, it's not done. It's base coated because after I do a wash, I usually go in and touch up like noses and cheekbones. See what your comment is. Putting my reading glasses on, which is different than my painting glasses. The anniversary of Leipzig is next year. Okay, which anniversary? Okay, what was it? Leipzig was 1813, right? So yeah, you're saying, yeah, 1813. So it would be, what is that? The 90th, the 110th anniversary? Am I doing my math right? No, 1813. Oh hell, no, it's 1913 and then 2013. Oh shit, it's 210 years. Yeah, if I'm doing my math right, you let me know. You may want to put some Austrians and Russians in your store. I know I have Russians. They're not painted. I've got boxed Russians. I used to have boxed Austrians. I don't know. Let's check my store. Why not? I got the website pulled up. Maybe I don't, but here we go. Is that me? No, that's not me. That was not me. Sign in. No, wait. Where does it say create? No. Aha. Okay, there we go. Let's go to my store. I know I'm horrible about this. Active listings. Wish there was a way for me to sort. Okay, Hanover, a bunch of Hanovers, of course. Some skeletons. No, that doesn't count. World War II. Some Thebians. That's not Russian. Some dwarves. Some halflings. I'm scrolling. Bear with me. There's some Prussian reserves. I'm still selling those. Persians. Bunch of gripping beasts. Here we go. Portuguese. No, that's not it. Russian line regiment. There we go. I have some Russians. So what you're telling me is... And I got some... No, those are all Prussians. Maybe I should put a sale on for the Leipzig anniversary. Got some Russian World War II. That doesn't count. Bavarian. Yeah, there's no Russian painted though. And I wouldn't be able to get any Russian flags in time for them to be ready for next week anyway. There's a bunch of flags. Hang on, get past all that. Okay, I thought I had some Austrians, but looks like I don't. Hell, I don't have any French either, so that's horrible. Okay, because French were there. Okay. Good looking out. Yeah, yeah, it was 1813, right? Leipzig? Or was it 1814? No, I think it's 1813. You said it's only in a week? Wait. Where's Leipzig? Oh, next year. Oh, okay, so I would get a... Okay, so I might be able to paint up some Russians or Austrians by then. I was thinking Leipzig was like March or April. I'm going off of memory, so I don't know. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Okay. Next color could be any color. I'm thinking more black because there's a lot of black things. Oh, okay. Hold on. The haversack. Yeah. Paint some haversacks. Or some backpacks. It's either backpacks or haversacks. Backpacks or haversacks. Okay. I think I want to paint them the same gray. Dark gray. I don't like painting those kinds of things black. Black. Okay. Not German gray, that's for sure. I've been thinking about this tank crew. I've been really leaning on that quite a bit. Because this black gray and this dark gray, the black gray looks like it has a little bit of blue in it or something. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. They almost look exactly the same. But this one is a good color for, like, it's called German Tank Crew. And you know how the German tank crews wore those black outfits. I think I'm going to paint a lot of things black. And it's going to be this. Because I can paint sword sheaths, I can paint shakos, ammo cartridge belts, the cartridge box, the backpacks. So many things are black. It's crazy. But I don't think I'm going to paint everything. I like painting like one item at a time. Because what it does is it kind of keeps me honest. It keeps me, what's the word I'm looking for? Focused. That's the word I should be looking for. That way I go backpack, shako, ammo cartridge box. You know, that kind of stuff. Okay, I don't think I put enough in there. Whoa. But that's okay. Because yeah, hang on. Because if I made it too thin, it's okay. Because black and white have like this super coat ability. I mean, they like, you don't even have to be close. It'll coat. Okay, this is a brush that I washed this morning. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I don't think I mixed enough. I'm gonna mix a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. 1 drop of this should be enough. Boop, drop. A little bit of water just so that it flows better on the brush. Not that I want it to thin out too much, I don't. Ah, yeah, that's a good mixture. Okay, mix that up a little bit more. There we go. I don't like this brush. I've had that brush a long time and it's just gotten old. Even with all the cleaning, you can't always get it back to 100%. So we're going to go with this other brush. Whoa, my eyes. Okay, we're only doing backpacks. Now, I thought about avoiding the bedroll on the back, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to go back in and paint the bedrolls again anyway, because I'm going to have to fix them. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to avoid them, but if I hit it, it's okay. It'll get fixed in post. Now, I don't know if I want to have a different price schedule for Napoleonics versus Ancients versus World War II. But I thought about, like World War II gets this price and Napoleonics get this price. But because Napoleonics does have a little bit more finesse, World War II is all basically just dirt, or kind of earth tones on pretty much everything. And washes will fix pretty much everything on a World War II figure. But then I thought, well, there's also camouflage. And depending on the camouflage, like P dot or ambush pattern on tanks or whatever, desert camouflage, multicam on modern miniatures. I thought about additional charges for camouflage as well. But I don't know. I'm being kind of petty when it comes to that, so maybe not. Well, not petty, but I'm already charging to paint the model, like $6 or more for a model, so $6 should include camouflage. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. These are the things that I think about. Now on my website, I thought about a page that talks about me, you know, just tooting my own horn and stuff, just where I came from, what my military background is, you know, what kind of wargaming I've played, what like tournaments I won or lost, or, you know, how good of a swordsman I am. Which I'm going to tell you, I'm a good swordsman. Okay. Hey, that's my wife. I'm going to mute you guys. Bear with me. Okay. It didn't answer, so... But she did send me a text, so I replied to her text. She sold something, and she's wanting me to ship it out for her. And I don't have any problem with that. She's selling some makeup or whatever. And I'm like... She found this incredibly good deal at one of these discount stores or whatever. And they were offering... I think it was a going out of business sale. They were offering like a big Foot Locker sized tub of makeup for a certain price, like $3 or something like that. And each of the makeup bottles, she's selling them for like $1. So, and she got like 100 bottles. So she's making a killing. But she's not in town, and it looks like she just sold something. So she wants me to box it up and ship it out for her. And then when I went to go look for the makeup, there was no box on the floor where the makeup is normally at. Which box is what I asked her. Which box on the which floor? She used to have this big box of makeup under our dinner table. I look under the dinner table and it is completely empty. There is nothing there. Now, if she moved the makeup, she didn't tell me where she moved it. And that's what this big conversation... Are we still muted? No. Okay. So that's what the conversation was all about, is where is this makeup that you want me to find? I can't find it. I even looked in the garage. I didn't think it would be in there, but I looked anyway. Okay, this is starting to look good. These guys are looking good. Again, if you guys want me to turn on the camera tomorrow, maybe I can get both cameras working. But yeah, if you want me to turn on the camera tomorrow as well, let me know. because I'm getting ready to turn the camera off here in just a few minutes, because I got to get ready for some other things, like my D&D game tonight, and I haven't eaten lunch. So there. And I don't know why my phone didn't answer her call, because it's got an answer and a hang up button. And I press the answer button, it flashes, and then nothing answers. So I think I might have an issue, or I don't know how to use a cell phone. That might be it. I'm so old, I used a rotary. Anybody else out there used a rotary phone? Anybody else out there remember payphones? Anybody out there remember phone books? Yeah, that's not even a thing anymore. I remember when I opened my store, my first thought, this is back in the day when I opened a store here in Clarksville that sold gaming supplies and materials and everything. I called it the War Room, and my first thing was get an ad in the Yellow Pages. Because I, as a gamer that moved around, because I was in the Army, that moved around, first thing I did when I got to a new station or a new city was I'd open up the Yellow Pages and I would check to see what kind of gaming stores were in the area. Knowing what I did, I said, I better set it up, because that was the best form of advertising. And then the internet showed up. That's right, this was before the internet. So what year did the internet come out? Anybody know off the top of their head? I think the answer is 93. There was BBSs before that. We would get all excited that we could play multiplayer on a bulletin board. Or that we could play multiplayer games, like computer games, if we knew someone else's IP. You had to type in their IP address. Remember those days? Early days of Star Citizen, to be able to play multiplayer. I know Star Citizen's a modern game, right? But the early days of Star Citizen, they didn't have a multiplayer function. They did, but you had to, and they supported it, but you had to type in someone else's IP address for the two computers to connect. Wild. It's like 10 years ago. Nowadays, you just click a button and it looks for the people online, and then you start a game, and the people that join the game go into the game. And now I've thought about playing some computer games on my Wednesday streams. And I've been saying this for a year now or whatever, but then I never do. I always wind up talking about miniatures and wargaming and stuff like that. But I would love to play a computer game on stream for you guys. But I haven't really had anybody ask me specifically like, hey, would you play this? Or hey, what about this game? Or anything like that. So it's all been kind of like initiated or motivated by myself. And if I'm going to play a computer game for you guys, normally what I would do is just record it, edit out all the BS, and then just upload it. Like what I'm doing with my XCOM Mass Effect game. I'm playing XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, but I'm playing a modded version of the game, which is called The Long War, which is it's a mod to extend the time length of the game to make it longer and harder. That's what she said. And I've also thrown in a few extra mods of Mass Effect. So you get all kinds of Mass Effect armor and weapons and stuff. Okay, let's go with Shaco now. Shaco. Because I've got all their backpacks done. Oh, I'm messing up. I'm messing up with the Shaco. I already know I'm messing up. Okay, so let's not do the Shaco. Let's leave that paint ready to go. I'm going to paint hair before I do the Shaco. Always paint hair before I do the Shaco. Okay. Because the hair can get up on the Shaco and then... Yep, it's almost 2 o'clock. So I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to end the stream right here. If you want me to stream tomorrow, be sure to drop a comment in the comments, and we'll see if I do anyway. If I do, it'll be right around noon. And again, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for coming out and joining me. And I will see you at the next time I go live. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification icon just in case I do go live tomorrow. All right, I'll catch you next time.